Alright, it's time for the final showdown in Kirby's adventure. Got me a nice tough power here. Cutter. Gonna cut this dude up good if he gives me any trouble. I think we're ready to go. Y'all ready to see the big bonanza go down? We fight King DeDeDe again. Alright, get over here. Okay, so this is the first game we're fighting this guy, where you can have powers. You couldn't have powers in Kirby's Dream Land 1, so I'm going to show you what happens when you try and fight him with a power. You've seen him already hit him a few times, but watch. You see how the cutter isn't working against him? All those hits just got that 1 health. And then when you spit the star at him, it works the first try. So that's obviously the way you want to play this guy, is using Kirby's default ability. Kirby is most powerful at his core in the end. That's what that teaches you. You can try and be something else all you want, but nothing will match the strength of who you naturally are. Alright, so yeah, this fight kind of drags on for a little bit. He's kind of lax on giving me these stars to spit at him. I mean, he gave me 2 right there. Okay, he gave me 3 right there, so he's catching up with what he's falling behind on. I mean, I don't know why he would want to let me win, but I'm talking about my schedule here, so he's messing up, not giving me enough stars to work with, and I only have 1 health left. Don't you know that I'm trying to, like, save this whole place? Aren't you the king? Hey, whoa. Okay, well. Alright, well, I guess he didn't like me mouthing off to him like that, but I started that fight with Cutter anyway, and that threw me off. I lost 2 health because of that. Now it's time for Kirby to mix it up with King DeDeDe for real. And I'm just going to speed this up because there's no reason watching that fight twice. It's going to be the same thing, I just didn't lose as much health this time. So here you go, this is the fight in fast motion. Call it Dragon Ball Z style. Even though they're still moving a little bit too slow for that. Finally, I finish him off with 2 health to spare, which isn't nearly enough, by the way. And gotcha. Okay, so now well, you wouldn't be feeling like that if you didn't attack me now, would you? Seriously, I thought we settled this. Okay, so this game is not over after that. King DeDeDe is the final, like, regular world boss, but he's not the final boss. No, this game does something more. So King DeDeDe is warning Kirby, like, don't do this. Do not put that star rod in the fountain. So he knows something. Like, he knows something. Kirby's missing something here. It's not as simple as just beating him so he can restore this. There's something wrong with the Fountain of Dreams right now. There's something dark inside. Yeah, this guy, he's up to some serious shit. As cowardly of a move as that was by King DeDeDe, this is kind of Kirby's fault, so whatever. This guy. You fly up to the sky to fight him, so we're above the clouds, but you can see we're descending now, right? Okay, we'll keep that in mind. And, yeah, there's not really anything special you could do here besides dodge his stars and make sure you keep hitting him. Just make sure you keep hitting him, because the sooner you beat him, the less of his attacks you have to dodge. And then he can go to his final form. So yeah, there's really not much of a complicated strategy to fight this guy. You just have to keep hitting him. Relentlessly keep hitting him. I mean, all I can really tell you about this guy is he's kind of tough. This is a somewhat difficult boss fight. So let me tell you how I messed this up. You can see how it seems like I'm doing a good job. I have no health missing yet, and I'm relentlessly firing these stars straight into him. No, you can see what I'm doing by not getting hit by anything. Well, I got hit right there, but by not getting hit by anything, I'm also missing him. I'm not in line with him well enough, so you can see how it's taking a little bit too long to beat him. We're moving closer to the ground again. We're out of the sky. We're not in the air anymore. And you're probably questioning why that's a problem. Well, it actually fucking matters. He runs away. You don't get to fight him anymore if you go too low. And yes, sir, the screen does crush you against the top. Brutal. So, on top of this guy being kind of a quick son of a bitch who fires constant stars at you, you have to beat him in a certain time limit. So you can't put too much energy into dodging his stars because you have to be lined up with him for a lot of the boss fight too, so your stars can hit him. Because you're hitting him with the same attacks he's hitting you. His just are a little bit more elaborate. And a little bit less frequent, depending on how you play this boss. Which you should be playing it like I am, constantly firing, otherwise you're going to get crushed, and you're going to die. So I didn't speed up either one of these attempts fighting this guy because I didn't want to. I wanted to just see the whole fight of how you can think that you're on top of shit, and then you get surprise wrecked because the floor sneaks up on you. And then I wanted you to see the boss fight where you fight him the way you're actually supposed to, which is kind of recklessly. You have to get hit a few times, because you can see I've gotten hit like 4 times now, but getting hit pays off, because we're getting close to the ground again, but this boss fight is officially over. Yeah, you just gotta keep wailing on him. That's literally the strategy for his boss fight. Dodge enough stars while constantly wailing on him. And now you can see Kirby just barely makes it to the star. That's how much time I had. That's how much time I had to spare. This floor was right there, so you gotta move quick at that boss. So Kirby chases this guy to the moon. He hasn't had quite enough yet. There's more fight in him, so he flies off to where he can make his final transformation. Yeah, he may have looked like a crystal ball, but there was something much more dark hiding inside of that shit. He's firing at us. He's firing at us. Boom! He hit us. Okay, so now we're on the moon for the final boss of this game. We're fighting against him. Yeah, I forgot his name actually, but he has a name, and I'll know it for the Game Boy Advance playthrough, don't you worry. Everything will be corrected by then. So, he's actually, I find, a little bit easier than the previous boss. That glass ball form that he has, honestly, I think it's a little bit more difficult than this. Even still, though, this guy takes more tries than that guy did. That's partially because I only had 2 health left to fight him, though, and this last health. I tried to do what I can with it, but eventually he aimed in just the right spot. So, we try again with full health, and let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I sped up this attempt because I didn't kill him here either. He once again bested Kirby. You know, I guess Kirby's just a little bit tired after playing a whole playthrough. You know, Kirby had a whole adventure before this, and that guy was sleeping on his ass inside of a fountain for years. So, you know, we'll cut Kirby a little bit of slack. Here's the final attempt, and I exploded out of the gate for this final attempt. I predicted all of this guy's attack. Watch this shit. You see the timing of that? Well, it's not even the only time I did that. Kirby was on top of this guy's attacks for this boss fight. I really wanted to try and beat him without getting hit at all, but that's not so easy on the final boss. Look at that timing though, that was gorgeous. Yes sir, you can teleport anywhere you want. You're not going to leave this battle behind, and I know that. We're on the moon. There's nowhere you can run away to. Let's go. Let's finish this. I'm ready to finish this game and defeat you. Yeah, you're not going to kill me with that one, dude. You've already tried it. Show me that insides. Boom! Shouldn't have been so careless. Come on, let's go. Quit teleporting all over the place. You're going to be on the screen either way, right? Okay, so he strikes me right here, and that breaks my streak of beating him without getting hit. But Kirby shakes it off, and in one climactic final leap, we have defeated this guy, and Kirby's adventure is complete. That was one painful sounding explosion. Actually took out a whole part of the moon. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the moon is a crescent. Not really, though. And so Kirby begins the descent of his victory. I mean, that was quite a climax. That was definitely more than the end of Kirby's Dream Land. Now, this went above and beyond, and I like that. Most Kirby games in the future do that, too. You never usually downgrade. Oh, okay, so bad dreams have invaded Dreamland. A nightmare came to the Dream Spring and tried to cause pain to the people. How dare you do that in Dreamland? DeDeDe foiled the nightmare. Thank you, DeDeDe. Good work. By hiding the star rod from him. DeDeDe helped Kirby beat the nightmare. All of this is worded much better on the Game Boy Advance version, by the way. Now everyone's dreams will return. Tonight, Dreamland will sleep well. Isn't that satisfying? Go for it, Kirby. Toss it. Come on, I know you want to. Come on, Kirby. I know you want to. There you go. Hallelujah, ladies and gentlemen. Hallelujah. Okay, before the video's over, just to brief everyone really quick on how I got started on this game specifically. This version of the game too, not just Nightmare in Dreamland. So, a long time ago, after I had already been a Kirby fan for many, many years, I found out that the games back in the day weren't just coming out on the Game Boy, which was those were the ones I was playing. The Game Boy games, those were the Kirby games that got me started when I was a kid. But I found out that Kirby's Adventure existed, Kirby Superstar existed, Kirby's Dream Land 3 existed, and then, you know, I was like, okay, well, these games look cool. And I saw Kirby's Adventure, and I was like, wow, that looks just like Kirby's Dream Land. This is the long-lost Kirby's Dream Land 3 that I always wanted, even though there is a Kirby's Dream Land 3. It didn't take long after playing this game, though, that I realized it's a direct remake of, or no, it's what Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland is a direct remake of. So, you know, I was a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, it just looks so much different to where I was like, well, let's just go ahead and play Kirby's Adventure. Let's see how this shit is. And surely enough, I did confirm that it is just an 8-bit version of Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. Not much to see, not much to see. It's worth a playthrough though. It really is just worth a playthrough because, you know, it just is. It just is. I promise. I think I'm trying to convince myself of that more than I'm trying to convince any of you guys. But no, I wanted to make this playthrough because it is a Kirby game in the Kirby series, and Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland didn't exist for the first like 10 years this game was out, so this game deserves a playthrough, and it definitely took a long time. It took like 8 months for me to get all these videos out, something like that. So there were a lot of roadblocks along the way, whether it being me being too busy in my real life or losing the motivation to work on any of my projects. Either way, this playthrough is done now, and I'm much more excited to get to the rest of the playthroughs than I was to get to this one. So I'm hoping and just hoping that the rate and quality that my videos come out at improves greatly. So although there were struggles along the way, I want this shining victory you see on the screen here to signify that I really have rised above all that's slowing me down on this channel. I'm going to take it literally. So thank you so much if you watched this whole playthrough, and I really hope you subscribe, and I really hope you stick around because these videos are going to get a lot better. I'm going to get faster at uploading them, and there's so much more of them coming. So I just hope to see you then.